Mm. Bendiciones. This is the when things fall apart. And this is a continuation of part 16, servants of peace. I'm going to reread the first paramita is generosity, the journey of learning how to give. When we feel inadequate and unworthy, we hoard things. We are so afraid of losing, afraid of feeling even more poverty stricken than we do already. The stinginess is extremely sad. We could look into it and shed a tear that we grasp and cling so fearfully. The holding on causes us to suffer greatly. We wish for comfort, but instead we reinforce aversion, the sense of sin, and the feeling that we are a hopeless case. The causes of aggression and fear begin to dissolve by themselves when we move past the poverty of holding back. So the basic idea of generosity is to train in thinking bigger, to do ourselves the world's biggest favor and stop cultivating our own scheme. The more we experience fundamental richness, the more we can loosen our grip. The fundamental richness is available in each moment. The key is to relax. Relax to a cloud in the sky. Relax to a tiny bird with gray wings. Relax to the sound of the telephone ringing. We can see the simplicity in things as they are. We can smell things, taste things, feel emotions, and have memories. When we are able to be there without saying, I certainly agree with this, or I definitely don't agree with that, but just be here very directly, then we find fundamental richness everywhere. It is not ours or theirs, but it is available always to everyone. In raindrops, in blood drops, in heartache and delight. This wealth is the nature of everything. It is like the sun in that it shines on everyone without discrimination. It is like a mirror in that it is willing to reflect anything without accepting or rejecting. The journey of generosity is one of connecting with this wealth, cherishing it so profoundly that we are willing to begin to give away whatever blocks it. We give away our dark glasses, our long coats, our hoods, and our disguises. In short, we open ourselves and let ourselves be touched. This is called building confidence in all pervasive richness. At the everyday, ordinary level, we experience it as flexibility and warmth. When one takes a formal bodhisattva vow, one presents a gift to the teacher as a focal point of the ceremony. The guidelines are to give something that's precious, something one finds difficult to part with. I spent an entire day with a friend who was trying to decide what to give. As soon as the thought of something, his attachment for it would become intense. After a while, he was a nervous wreck. Just the thought of losing even one of his favorite belongings was more than he could bear. Later, I mentioned the episode to a visiting teacher, and he said perhaps it was the opportunity for the man to develop compassion for himself and for all others caught in the misery of craving, for all others who just can't let go. I I also before I didn't have a problem with throwing things away or holding on, having attachment to material things. But since ever since my mother passed away, I have had this um hard time with parting with stuff, like getting rid of stuff. It's been just it's just been difficult, like I've noticed that like I'll hold on to things and then like I'll try to get rid of stuff and then it's just like something just makes me like this intense feeling. And I hadn't had that before. Like before I was just like, here, have it, here, take it, like just really like, you know, easily. But then after my mother passed away, it's like I took on her karma and this um just this intense feeling. Like I could not before understand how she was like she moved one time and we had to help her move, me and my um her other kids. So we had to like help her. Some of us helped her. And she had like a lot of stuff, like just like in multiple of things, like multiple like blenders, multiple toasters, multiple pan, like just multiples of stuff, just a lot. And there was this lady that like she because I used to go a lot to feed homeless people a lot. I had like a really strong call to do that until things happened and then like just more and more and then I stopped. But I would go a lot. And this lady, she was like, oh, one day, I'm gonna get a hot, she wanted a hot plate. She had just got into this building where she was gonna like, it's like a, after being homeless, there's a long waiting list for this building in downtown San Diego. And she got into the building and the building didn't have, like, it was just rooms, like a whole bunch of rooms. They all shared a bathroom. Like on one floor there's like a bathroom, but they all had their own room. And it's an upgrade for them, from what living on the street, I guess, is what they think. And so I had went to see her when she got in there 'cause she was really excited to have her thing. And it's just a room, like one room. So I like looked and I was like, oh, like um she had talked about like a lot of ideas that she had. And she had a daughter that lived out of state, but she didn't speak to her. And so she was like, oh, I'm gonna she wanted a hot plate so she could cook food. She was like, oh, I'm gonna save it for a hot plate. And she was really excited to save it for a hot plate. And I knew my mom had like five of them. So I asked her. And like at first she was just like, no, no, no. And I just couldn't understand. I'm like, you don't even use them. And this lady over here, she needs it. Like she was homeless. And I was almost like mad. Like, how can you be like that? Like, just let her have it. Like, you're not using it, let her have it. Like, if any. And then she was just like, give her yours or go buy her one. Or like she was just like very like attached to it. And then it just like I couldn't understand how like she didn't use it. It was packed away. And she even had like brand new, like she would get like brand new, like for gifts, brand new packs of like pans and all kinds of stuff. And she just had it like stored away. And then she would just use the old ones that she had. Even with clothes, like people would give her new clothes and she would just use the same old clothes. Like she just had her own little mañas that she had. So I was like, I couldn't understand, like, why did she not, want to let her have it? She eventually did, like, after, like, she's like, okay, take it. I thought about it, just take it, because I was telling her, like, it's a pecado, which is like a sin. I was like, it's a sin, to be like that, to hoard your stuff. And there's people that could have it. And, you should, because I was like studying Buddhism then. And I was just like, stop being so attached to stuff, if no, we take nothing. And then I was like reading her the four agreements in Spanish and stuff. And so then she just said, you're right, just come take it. And in my thinking, I couldn't understand, like, how could she like feel like that? How could she like have those? And now like I understand, like that's why they say, like, you ask, like, how, I wonder how, like, and you'll find out how, because you will have those feelings. And I have that feeling now. It's like, and I don't get it. Like there'll be something and it's just like, I'm like, oh, I gotta get, and like I can't, like something inside of me just won't let me let go of it. And it's like I have to like force myself. I'll tell my daughter too, like, take it out, like put it out on the curb or something for somebody to take it or something like that. Like just to, you know, take it out because I feel like I know I have to do it, so it's hard, to be caught up um in that of like holding on to and to giving away material things. Okay. I'm gonna finish the rest later. Bendiciones. Okay, continuing on. Giving material goods can help people. If food is needed and we can give it, we do that. If shelter is needed or books or medicine are needed and we can give them, we do that. As best as we can care for whoever needs our care. Nevertheless, the real transformation takes place when we let go of our attachment and give away what we think we can't. What we do on the outer level has the power to loosen up deep-rooted patterns of holding on to ourselves. To the degree that we can give this, to, to the degree that we can give like this, we can communicate this ability to others. This is called giving the gift of fearlessness. Fearlessness. When we touch the simplicity and goodness of things and realize the fundamentally we are not stuck in the mud, then we can share that relief with other people. We can make this journey together. We can share what we have learned about taking down sunshades and unlocking armor, about being fearless enough to remove our masks. We can give the gift of Dharma to the degree that we can. We give meditation instructions. We tell people about Tonglen. We introduce them to books and tapes, tell them of talks and practice sessions. We give people the tools for finding out for themselves what encourages us to loosen our grip, what encourages us to think bigger. To dissolve the causes of aggression takes discipline, gentle yet precise discipline. Without the paramita of discipline, we simply don't have the support we need to evolve. I remember the first retreat, I led after The Wisdom of No Escape had been published. Most people came to the retreat because they were inspired by the notion of Matri that permeates that book. After the third day of the program, we were all sitting there meditating when one woman suddenly stood up, stretched a bit, and laid down on the floor. When I asked her about it later, she said, "Well, I felt so tired that I thought I'd be kind to myself and give myself a break." It was then that I realized I needed to talk about the magic of discipline and not being swayed by moods. I'm going to stop there and read the rest later.